Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel The Ideas Can Travel. This is Chetan Desai, and today's episode we are going to cover the country of Singapore. So firstly, we were in the middle of our trip, so we flew directly from Australia, which is Melbourne, to Singapore. We took Scoot Airlines, which was pretty good, and the overall cost for us was about 47,000 round trip, and overall experience was pretty good. It's a budget airline. The Scoot Airlines is a budget airline, so um, we didn't have any screens or like the food which was given in the airlines. Everything was paid for, so nothing is free of cost. Make use of fillable water stations and avoid microplastics. So you have to fill in Singapore arrival card 3 days before arriving to Singapore to avoid any problems. So we did that, and immigration was pretty smooth. We just got out doing all of that and got our luggage. We reached at around 2 a.m. at the Changi International Airport, Singapore. So we stayed there until the hotel in the airport opened up, and we had some good Indian breakfast. It was pretty delicious, I would say, at 6 a.m. in the morning. So after checking out the airport for a couple of minutes, freshened up, and then took a sky train to terminal. Hi, so since we are already in Singapore, and this is tourist pass or also the Easy Link card, so you can buy the Singapore tourist pass and also the Easy Link card. This is more for the ones who would want to travel regularly, very frequently in the days. So for every single day, like one day $17 and the other prices. So right now we have taking the Easy Link card, so which is for $10, and it will give $5 as a top up. And this is pay as you go. So as the number of stops you go, you pay the number of prices. So for one stop minimum there is 0.60 charge, and for the entire journey the max they can charge is 1.6 Singaporean dollar. So if you want to travel more frequently, go for the Singapore tourist pass. If you are sure that you're not going to take 3 or 4 trips in a day, then go for Easy Link card. You can also return the Singapore tourist pass and get the $10 refund which you would have paid extra while the time of purchase. You can get that money back. And also for the Easy Link card, let's say if you have some $5 or $10 left in the card, you can still get that money back when you return the card here when you leave. MRT is basically the metro trains, and the LRT is the trams, and the buses is just obvious. And the good thing is you can also use Google Pay here with the UPI. So that's one of the best things. If you are traveling from India and want to use the UPI with the Google Pay, you can use that as well. And you can also use credit cards for tap in and tap out. You don't have to purchase these cards, but mind you that there's an additional charge which the credit card company would be adding on top of that, so be aware. So yeah. So I've taken the Easy Link card and now I'm recharging that. So come here. So I'm just placing my card here. It shows my balance, previous balance, and I want to add $10 with my credit card. I'll just hit 10 and I have to tap my credit card. So I've tapped it and it shows a new balance. Now I want the receipt for that. I should be receiving one. And please have this receipt with yourself all the times. So we are in the MRT going to our hotel to drop the baggage off, and then we'll be heading to see some places. So this is how the metro here in Singapore looks like. So if you have any valid visas from the countries like US, Australia, Canada or New Zealand, you would be entitled for 96 hours of free visa, which is VFTF, Visa Free Transit Facility in Singapore. Please use that. So we got an early check-in and we rushed to the room, and rooms were pretty small, I would say, but we paid like around 25,600 for 3 nights and 4 days. So it was okay, with good swimming pool, and also had some good amenities of gym and free breakfast buffet and so on. So always
Guys,
try
the
and
weather
find
is
some reasons
actually
to
humid
stay fit
in
and
Singapore.
healthy. I'll always
So
concentrate
you
on
guys can
doing
see
some
I'll be
cardios or
sweating in the gym.
strength training
It's
whenever
like 10 or
possible
15
in whichever
minutes at
country
the
we are
gym.
traveling to, because
So
it
yep.
gets so busy while planning the trip. So we do make sure like we just put 1 or 2 days out there to focus on our health. The one strange thing what we noticed in Singapore was finding metro station. It's so scary. I mean, where are the entry points? Where are the exit points? It's so difficult to find. But it was a fun way, kind of like a maze to explore as well. So we took the shuttle or the MRT straight to the Marina Bay Sands, which is a premier Singapore landmark featuring a world record infinity pool, a $8 billion construction cost, and a design inspired by Cards tech. If you know, the world's largest elevated pool, which is the 150 meters infinity pool, is the largest rooftop pool in the world, sitting 57 stories above ground and holding 3,76,500 gallons of water in it. If you walk just 50 meters from the Marina Bay Sands, you will find the Merlion. It has a head of lion representing Singapore's original name, Singapura, and the body of fish, honoring its past as a fishing village. The modern mascot. It didn't come from an ancient folklore. It was actually designed in 1964 as a logo for the Singapore Tourism Board. There are 6 official Merlion statues scattered across the island, including a cub and one on the hilltop. The main statue was moved 120 meters in 2002 because a new bridge was blocking its within the Esplanade of the waterfront. Lies the Irony Monument. Within the park marks where the original memorial stood before British forces destroyed it in the year 1945 to erase the Indian National Army's legacy. Then, after a short walk, we were pretty much hungry for the lunch, so we headed to Lau Pa Sat. Being vegetarians and exploring an option in Singapore was tricky, but we managed so many good food like dumplings, tofu, fried veggies. I found the food equally soothing and also tasty. We explored the food store, pretty much all the stores, like all the dishes and different drinks to offer, which is the Kopiku is one of my personal favorites, which is a Milo. Then headed to one of the iconic landmarks, which is Tian Hock Keng Temple, which is also called as the Palace of Heavenly Happiness. It's Singapore's oldest and the most important Hokkien temple, built between the age of 1839 and 1842. The history where all the battle with the Britishers and every other fights have been recorded here. We reached the Pangkur Larangan. The Forbidden Spring was once the private bathing space for a 14th century royal woman, strictly off limits to all commoners.
So this is the battle box which is used in World War II.
So I'll break down all the cost of traveling Singapore. So we traveled, two of us, for 3 nights, 3 days and 4 nights. The visa was free for us because we had opted for visa free transit facility because we had visa from other countries like US and Australia. Flights costed us 47,291 Indian currency. Food costed us 10,306. Caps and accessories costed us 8,693. Hotel costed us 25,606. Insurance costed us 580. So total it was 93,569. And next, we headed to the Garden by the Bay, where we enjoyed the free light show, which typically runs between 7:45 p.m. and 8:45 p.m., and it's totally free of cost. The interesting fact remains like this. It holds one of the Guinness World Records for the largest glass greenhouse, which is spanning about 1.2 hectares, equivalent to 75 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Pretty hungry by then, and we rushed to have our dinner just beside the gardens. By the way, they you will find a lot of restaurants over there, and we picked up some Indian food and then went straight back to the hotel and just closed off. So next up, in the morning we had some good breakfast buffet at our hotel. Had some fruits, some veggies, some idlis, and then we headed straight to Sentosa Island, which is what our majority of our day spending looks like for today. So the moment we entered near the area, we could find these beautiful gondolas or the cable cars. That's the way we have to enter the Sentosa Island. So we went directly to the harborfront station where we booked ourselves with a Sky Pass worth $35 for one person, which gives you access to all the cable cars and inside the Sentosa Island and to the Sentosa Island. So basically, there are two lines which operates. One is Mount Faber line, and the other is Sentosa lane. The Mount Faber line, which takes you to Mount Faber stations, Harbour stations, and Sentosa stations. And inside the Sentosa stations, there are three stations, which is Imbai Lookout Station, Sensory Scape Station, and Siloso Point Station. So for $35, they'll give you a round trip of the cable cars. The cable cars were themed with the Pikachu and all the Pokemon um, creatures. If you love them, and you would surely enjoy this. The experience was pretty nice because this was the highest gondola ride which we have taken. We had taken gondola rides before, but this was slightly at the greater heights, I would say. So we were greeted by the peacocks at the entrance of the Sentosa Island, which were so beautiful to watch. We spent some time taking some good pictures of that. And this is what the Sentosa Island looks like. We also found the white peacocks, which was very rare to find. And you would find some water filling stations all throughout the Sentosa Island. We hopped on to Sentosa Nature Discovery, and we found the beautiful ports which Singapore is known for. And we also went to the Siloso Point station via the cable car, and also went to Fort Siloso, which is so beautiful to watch, and it's one of the iconic places of Singapore. It's only preserved coastal fort and designated national monument, which is located on the western tip of Sentosa Island. So it was built in the late 19th century by the British to defend against sea invasions. It today serves as a military museum showcasing the World War II history. Visitors can explore the preserved tunnels once used for ammunition storage and communications. And we explored also the Siloso beach, which was pretty nice. And in this hot weather, I think the water was
Found
pretty
out
good.
2p, not
And we
$2
also found
more.
out
$2
the Universal
Singapore.
Studios
And we
from
are
top
taking
from the cable car,
Thank you.
and also found the ports, and we explored the Chinatown, which is quite famous in Singapore. There are tons of restaurants and shopping complexes, and we thought we'll be lucky to find any veg food, but unfortunately, we couldn't find any comfortable veg food. So we decided let's go back to Lau Pa Sat, where we had found out the veg food the earlier times. So we stick to that. We had some crazy wet ramen, and it was so delicious and spicy. I think should definitely try this if you're vegetarian. So we tried out a vegan soya bean milk with some jellies, but it wasn't that great. I would say the soya milk in general was good, but not the jellies. And then we directly headed to the Boogie Street for shopping, and also from there we headed to the Little India, where we could find some South Indian places, North Indian foods, and some coffee places. So we had a good veg thali in a South Indian cafe, which was pretty soothing and tummy full, because we've been wondering to have some good Indian food in the 3 days, and we could cater ourselves some good rice, vada, and so on. So that marks our final day of the Singapore. So we took the bus back from Little India back to our hotel room. So we finished our day early today so that we could get some good sleep. So since we had our flight the next day, so we also had to explore Changi Airport. So the next morning, after getting up, getting some workout done, having some good coffee, and with a light note, we headed to the airport. So we had to carry our luggages as well. So make sure you carry lightweight so that it will be easy for you to travel. Though Singapore is tourist friendly, you can find metros very accessible with all luggages. So this is the Changi airport. It's so stunning. I mean, I thought it was too much of a hype to say Changi was one of the bestest, but after seeing these locations, the metro trains passing, the waterfalls, the Jebel is what they call it. It's so stunning to watch. It's such a meditative place, I would say. Instead of In spite of having all that crowd and the noise, you would still feel so nice being here. We just took some time off sitting next to the waterfalls and seeing all those gigantic trees, which has been planted right in the middle of nowhere. And I would say this is a pretty decent place, and you should definitely take some 2 to 3 hours to completely explore the place and also take some pretty good features, uh, pictures, I would say. So I got to know that I'm too much of a Indian food guy when I'm really on the tours. So heading back to India. Before that, let's have some Indian food and some Indian thali, and then we are taking flight back to India, which is AirAsia, flying back to India. Thank you all, and see you again in the next episode with the next country.